Hello, it's Miss Hall.
And Miss Nelson.
So today we're going over area of circles. So just like with circumference, we're going to talk about what the different things mean in the formula. So the letter A represents area, and the letter R squared represents radius squared. Now remember, this is radius times radius. That's what radius squared means. The most common mistake we see our students make is they do radius times 2. It is radius times radius, not radius times 2. Okay, again, pi is 3.14, or in some cases, if you're dealing with fractions, 22 over 7. Okay, so okay.
All right, so number 1 says, find the area of a circle with a diameter of 14 inches. Assign pi with a value of 3.14. Hint, draw a picture. Okay, so very rarely in area are you going to leave it in terms of pi. You may, but again, on a rare occasion are you actually going to do it. We do that more like we did with circumference. And typically it will tell you what to assign for pi, in this case 3.14. Had it not told us 3.14, I still would have used that because I don't have a need at this point for 22 over 7. So I'm going to start by drawing a picture. There's my circle and it says a diameter of 14 inches. So my formula, we only have one formula. So area equals pi r squared. So, because they gave you the diameter, I need to figure out what the radius is, okay? And whenever we talked about circumference, I told you that radius was half the diameter, okay? So, half of 14, so radius is going to be 14 divided by 2, which is going to be 7. So, my radius is going to be 7 in this instance. So, when I substitute in, area equals 3.14 times my 7 squared. Okay, so whenever you are doing, you're ready to start solving, you must square your radius first before you can multiply. Remember, exponents before multiplication. So 7 times 7 is 49. And now I can multiply 3.14 times my 49. Placeholder 16. Now I have 2 decimal places. Okay. Now in area, it is very important. Your units are always going to be squared. So in this case, I'm going to have inches squared. The reason your units are squared is because in area, you are talking about shading something in. Okay. I want the whole amount that is going to be shaded in. So if I'm shading something in, it's a little bit harder to understand with the circle, but in a square, you would do side times side. So because you are multiplying something by something else, your units are going to be squared. So for my answer, I have 153 and 86 hundredths inches squared. Okay, and again, if you had just put inches, this would be wrong because there is a vast difference between inches and inches squared.
Okay, our next example, Mrs. Fields makes 2 different size pies, an individual pie with a radius of 3 inches and a family size pie with a radius of 9 inches. Find the difference in the areas of the 2 pies. So we have to find the 2 individual areas and then subtract them from each other. Okay, so the individual pie, I'm going to draw a picture. It's going to be small. And it says it has a radius of 3 inches. And A. So the formula we're going to use, whether like Ms. Nelson said, there's only one. A equals pi r squared. Let's substitute in. So we have 3.14 times 3 squared. Our math, 3 times 3 is 9. Now we have 3.14 times 9. And I have my 2 decimal places. Remember, our units are inches squared. So our answer is 28 and 26 hundredths inches squared. Okay, so that's for our individual pi. Now let's figure out our family size pi. The radius over here is 9 inches. Again, we're going to use our same formula, A equals pi r squared. We're going to substitute n. They did not tell us to use 3.14 for pi, but we assume that if they don't tell you, you use 3.14. And radius is 9 squared. Our math, 9 times 9 is 81. Now 3.14 times 81. I'm still on holiday time. Four, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 2. Good thing I have different colors because I'm running into each other. I have 2 decimal places. Okay, my units are inches squared. My answer is 254 and 34 hundredths inches squared for my family pi. Now I have to subtract the difference to find my difference over here. So whenever you're subtracting, you want to put your bigger number on top. Okay, so our difference is 226 and 8 hundredths inches squared.
Okay, so number 3 says, find the area of the semicircle below. Okay, so if we look at the shape, so they gave us a picture, but we don't have a whole circle, we have half a circle. Okay, that is what semicircle actually means. It means half, semi means half. So, whenever we go through, we're going to start with our regular formula of area equals pi r squared. However, because it's half of a circle, I have to put a 1/2 in my formula. You can also use a 0.5 if you want to use the decimal form. Either way is acceptable. So we come over here, and it says that the diameter is 12. So again, I know radius is diameter divided by 2. So 12 divided by 2, so my radius is 6. So when I substitute in, area equals 1/2 times 3.14 times 6 squared. Okay, so it looks like we've got a lot of numbers going on, so we're going to take it one step at a time. I'm going to start with my exponent first. 6 times 6 is 36. So what I have is 1/2 times 3.14 times 36. What I personally do, if I have a fraction or a decimal that's not a big decimal, I get rid of it early on. So I can cancel this 2 with my 36 and get 18. Remember that cross-canceling that we did with fractions. So now all I have left is 3.14 times my 18. Okay, now I've got 2 decimals. My units are centimeters squared, again because we are area. So my overall answer is 56 and 52 hundredths centimeters squared. Okay, and again, make sure you have the centimeters squared or your answer would be incorrect. So make sure if you have any questions about any process of it, make sure you make notes so that when you come back tomorrow, you're ready to ask questions, and that way we can get anything cleared up. Bye.
Bye.